another edition of Agent Talk, and this week we're looking at it from yet another perspective. I cannot wait to share this time with Jana Miller from Live Urban Real Estate. So we're looking at it from the perspective of the broker. How are you not only caring for your agents, but also helping them guide through this time, right? Because we know we're not through COVID yet, but we're at a place where we have to look forward to say, how can we take what we've learned and continue to navigate? So you've been a realtor now for since 2009? So
That's right.
A little over 11 years.
Yeah, and I got in right when the market was completely tanked. I thought it was a good idea.
Perfect timing. But from that, I mean, what a great learning experience. You were absolutely something totally different. It was time for a life change. You were a political consultant, you were in marketing, you were a journalist. I mean, so many phenomenal industries that you were a part of. And then you came into real estate. So tell us really quickly kind of what changed your path into real estate at that time.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was sort of always in my bones, really. My dad was a developer. My mom was a real estate agent for quite a while. I've always just loved old homes, architecture. I love neighborhoods. I live in West Highlands, and I was always very connected to my neighborhood, volunteered in the music festival, the Sunnyside Music Festival. So for me, it was just sort of this thing that was almost like in my DNA and inevitable.
I keep telling my kids that. They're saying no so far. I'm trying. So, and you've been the managing broker of Live Urban for 3 years, a little over 3 years. So Yep. You've seen a lot of change as technology speeds up, as the industry changes. You have to be on point to help navigate those changes and maintain kind of the level that you guys have risen to, which is a phenomenal brokerage to be a part of.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we're really fortunate to have a really great staff. We have a small, kind of a lean, mean staff, but we're very close. We work closely together. And of course, we have our founder and our owner, John Skraybeck, who I nicknamed Obi-Wan John about 3 years ago, and it's now on his business card. So he's officially Obi-Wan John.
That's fantastic. I love that. Well, and that goes to speak to the community that you guys do and the humor, right? I mean, that's part of the thread of who you guys are. So tell me how, as an established brokerage, so you're not a new brokerage that's coming into this from a different perspective, you were established, you had a great business model and great business. So you had to redevelop, reestablish. Tell me what this journey has looked like for you.
Yeah. Well, I think like everybody at the beginning, it looked like, when you start a real estate career and you drink from a fire hose, that's really what it looked like and felt like. But we just sort of immediately decided, okay, how are we going to react? What are we going to do? We're not going to start trying to just throw things against the wall. We're going to sort of hunker down, stick to our core values, remember who we are, remember why we got here. We obviously went into some sort of long-term planning because we were assuming that there was going to be, a pretty significant market downturn, maybe not in terms of like average price points, but just maybe, if the market was here, it's still, sellers and buyers, but now it's here. Everything, there's just less volume basically in the market. So we decided, that it was really a time for people to reflect, hunker down with their families, friends, their people, their quarantine, and be safe and have that space. Like we've never been a brokerage that is all about, what are you doing for your numbers and, where are you getting your next transaction? We're really more about a lifestyle brand for both our clients and our brokers. So, we closed down the offices, staff started working from home, agents largely work from home anyway. We have space in both of our offices, but they largely work from home. So we really just sort of shifted into that, try to keep it calm and be safe mode. But then we really were working on keeping up on all the rules, all the regulations, because we wanted to be a leading brokerage on doing the right thing. Right? Following whatever the rules were. And as you know, they were coming down like, crazy and sporadic. And, right. One day they were one thing, and the next day they were another thing. So really participating, setting up WebEx meetings with our brokers, keeping them all informed. I participated in a managing broker group, which was just wonderful and delightful. Alex Took from Peak talked about that, I think, in one of your previous editions. Yep. And there was a group of about 12 of us. We shared ideas. We talked about best practices. You know, when our regulatory bodies weren't telling us what to do, we were figuring it out based on what we thought was the right thing to do, you know, sort of our instincts. We participated in a group letter that we all signed and sent to the governor's office and to our our real estate board, you know, basically saying, here's what we think good standard practice should be. And, you know, I'm not sure how much influence it had, but not coincidentally or coincidentally, it was very similar to what we sent them. So, you know, it felt good to be sort of active and part of that, you know, as a brokerage community.
I question even to your long range view ability, right? Your political activists, your consulting work that you did, the journalism work that you did, you had to look at landscapes from a wider lens. And so that really had to come into play when you were managing your teams, is to say, okay, we know what we're trying to do here, but we also need to know what we're trying to do up here and continue to guide us forward, which you were very active. I know a number of people that were in that group, and I was a huge fan of the fact that, number one, you got together, and you didn't have to. You came together across brokerages, across, you know, enemy lines, you know, in the old way of thinking about things, and became partners and allies in kind of the fight and education and awareness.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would like to point out that several of the people in that group I met through you. So thank you very much. You're a great connector. Yeah, that's true. I think that, you know, part of being, you know, in a managing broker role is that you need to sort of, you know, get out of the forest, and you need to always take that 30,000-foot view. And I think that needs to be your guide. And I think this applies to real estate agents too. You know, it's sort of who, you know, what is your why? Like, who are you at your core, right? And if you don't veer from that, but, you know, you sort of, you know, if you think of you know, life and your evolution is going like this, you're fine. But if once you start going like this, you've lost your way, right? So I think it's the same for an agent or for a brokerage. And that's really, you know, what we try to do.
And I want to go back to, you know, Live Urban, your core, right? Your core is family. It is community. It is having fun, which is one of the things that I love about, I mean, there's every agent in there is kind of has that motto and that mentality. So talk a little bit about some of the things that you made sure to hone in on that you were kind of doing before, but what helped you carry through that time that you're going to continue doing looking forward?
Yeah. So, yeah, 100%, you know, we're a lifestyle brand. You know, we're very connected to our communities. We have, you know, an office in Highlands, an office in Cherry Creek, and we live in our neighborhoods. We care for our neighborhoods, you know, like so many real estate agents. And yes, we do like to have fun. I will hasten to add that we are also a very strong and good company. We've been around for, you know, 15 years and, you know, do a really great business with a really great sweet spot of, you know, in price points and, you know, entrenchment in our neighborhoods and communities. But we do like to be a little fun and quirky sometimes. So we did some things like we held mindfulness sessions. We hired a mindfulness coach. This guy, great guy named Nate Ewert. We like to say he's the Live Urban massage therapist because so many of us go to him. But he did WebEx sessions, you know, where we were all encouraged to be in our cozy living rooms and sitting on our pillows and, you know, with our, getting our Zen on, you know, and all that. And he would lead us in breathing and mindfulness exercises, sort of meant to like ease trauma and, you know, that kind of thing. So that was really interesting in a very fun way, an interesting way to connect, I think, on a different level, you know, even within our own brokers. We did, once we were allowed to, we did park parties. So we did, you know, of course, 10 groups or less. We're still doing these. And we did, we hired one of our agents who owns Freshcraft restaurant. Sarah Riggs and her husband own it. And so they did, or they're still doing brown bag lunches for us. So everybody signs up, and you get a brown bag sandwich and a little drink, and we gather in different parks, you know, City Park, Sloan's Lake, Platt Park, and, you know, we just bring our own chair, bring our own blanket, and we talk and, you know, just kind of reconnect, you know, so we can see each other's faces again, because it's so much about, you know, that connection. And then before we decided to open up our offices, we have floor duty, which is a great opportunity for people to get, you know, call-ins, walk-ins. We have a lot of web traffic on our website. But in order to find out really what people wanted, I surveyed them first and just asked them, are you interested in doing floor? Do you want to bring clients in the office? You know, you need that's sort of the polling social science part of my background. You know, ask the people what they want, ask them what they think, and then give them what they want and, you know, meet their needs that way. So we found that, lo and behold, people wanted to go in the office, and they wanted to do floor, and they wanted to be in the energy, you know. And we got a walk-in buyer on our second day open at Highlands. You know, some guy saw a flyer in our window and said, I just saw that house on Zillow, and I love that house, and I want to go see that house. So, you know, it's amazing how when you open it up and you show the world that you're here, you know, they come. They want to come, because people still need to buy and sell houses.
Absolutely. Well, Jana, thank you so much for taking this time and sharing with us and great ideas, both from the perspective of leading your family, your team, your brokerage, as well as from an individual agent, how we can kind of look to those things that you're doing as a role model and be able to continue growing our business, because we're always looking to that next level. At least I always have, right? It's like, what is that next level doing, and how do I program a plan to get there? So
yeah. Well, and thank you for doing this for people, for the brokerage community. I appreciate you asking me to be a part of it and just to share a little bit of Live Urban story. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.